What's up guys, this is Ryan from Tower Reviews, and today we're going to be doing a recap of the Apple event that went down on September 13th, 2013. It was mainly a iPhone event with some information on iOS 7. So I'm going to just go over some notes that I took of the keynote here on my Nexus 7, which is a little bit weird just because Android and we're talking about Apple. But yeah, so basically Tim Cook comes out and he goes over some updates. He talks about the iTunes Festival, not really much big news there, just talking about some artists that are going to be there and things of that nature. Talks about how they're working hard to complete iOS 7 and how they're going to ship the 700 millionth iOS device by next month. So some big numbers coming up with the iOS devices. Next, Craig Federighi comes out on stage. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce that, but he's the guy with the cool hair. And he starts to go over the features of iOS 7 like we didn't already know them, I guess for people who were unaware of the keynote that happened, I guess it was in June now. They actually did add some new features. They released the release date, which is September 18th, for the iPhone 4 and later, iPad 2 and later, iPad mini, iPod Touch 5th generation. So the iPod Touch 4th generation gets screwed out of the new operating system, but they added 5 new apps that come stock with the operating system. Now, I'm not sure if they're pre-loaded on the operating system or you actually have to download them sort of like you did iBooks, but you can now get the iWork suite, you get Keynote, Pages, and Numbers, also iPhoto and iMovie, which is basically aiming to make the iOS devices better creation devices. And that was about it for iOS 7. They spent a decent amount of time on it, and then they began to talk about the iPhone. So they came out with the iPhone 5C, which is basically an iPhone 5 in a different case. It's a plastic polycarbonate backing that comes in different colors. They're going to be replacing the iPhone 5, so that's out of the picture now. It's just the 4S, the 5C, and the 5S, which we'll get to in a little bit. So yeah, the 5C is going to have all the same specs as the iPhone 5. It's going to have green, white, blue, pink, and yellow color options. The entire back is made out of one piece. There are no seams, so build quality seems to be pretty nice from what they've said. They also have these new custom cases that have holes in the back so you can see what color you have. So I believe there's about 30 different combinations if you include the iPhone and the case colors. So they have a new structure within the phone. It's a steel reinforced structure beneath the plastic that serves as the antenna and just a more solid design. It has the same 4-inch Retina display, A6 processor, same 8-megapixel camera, but it has a new FaceTime HD camera. I'm not really sure, they didn't go into many details on that. It has dual-band Wi-Fi, Bluetooth 4.0, and the most LTE bands of any smartphone currently. So we've got a price point of $99 for the 16 gigabyte and $199 for the 32 gigabyte, and the cases cost $29 each. Next, they moved on to the iPhone 5S. Phil Schiller came out on the stage and he claims that it is the most forward-thinking phone anyone has ever made. I'll let you be the judge of that. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but don't want to get into that too much. So they have 3 different colors. You've got the standard slate, which is just like the black version now. Gold, which is, I don't know, I'm kind of torn on it. It's kind of ugly looking, in my opinion. And you've got a new, I think they called it Space Gray iPhone, which I personally like the most. It's pretty similar to the white iPhone now. So they're made of high-grade aluminum with chamfered edges. They have a brand new A7 chip, which actually runs in 64-bit as well as iOS 7. So you have a 64-bit desktop architecture with 2 times general purpose registers and over 1 billion transistors. So it seems like a pretty high performance chip on this phone. All the built-in apps are re-engineered to run in 64-bit. Developers now have the option to upgrade their apps if they would like to, but 32-bit apps still run. The iPhone 5S is going to be at least 2 times as fast, which is just ridiculous. They came out and did a demo of Infinity Blade, the final edition in the trilogy. They were running it in real time with almost no lag, and it really looked great. Almost looked like cutscenes, even in regular gameplay. They have a chip that works alongside the A7 called the M7, which runs more like menial tasks such as the accelerometer, compass, and gyroscope. This basically enables apps to know whether you're stationary, walking, or driving. In terms of battery life, it didn't really seem like much of an upgrade. You've got 10 hours on 3G talk time, 10 hours LTE browsing, and 250 hours of standby, and they said it's slightly improved over the 5, but I wouldn't really expect to see like that big of a difference. Made a lot of changes to the cameras as well. You now have a 5-element Apple designed lens with a f2.2 aperture, and they definitely improved the flash a lot. It now has sort of 2 ranges of lighting color. You have like an amber end that's sort of warmer colors, and then the upper end is a lot brighter, and basically when you take a picture it's going to mix those 2 color options into a more accurate lighting for the specific picture you're taking at the time. So that should be interesting. They showed an example of it, and skin tones looked a lot better, and I'm sure that will definitely help in low light situations where you need a flash. Camera also now features auto image stabilization and a new burst mode that shoots at 10 frames per second and automatically chooses the best photo of the 10 that you take. And now you also have the option of slow-mo. You can take video at 720p 120 frames per second, so you should be getting some nice smooth slow motion, a lot better than the previous 60 frames. The third feature that they talked about with the phone is security. So basically they were talking about the most common form of security right now is the passcode, and how it's just sort of cumbersome to have to type that in every time. So they added a fingerprint scanner over the home button, and they call it Touch ID. It's built right into the home button with the metal ring around it so that it can sense your thumb or your finger when you put it there. It's made out of sapphire, so it pretty much is unscratchable. And you'll be able to use it with a bunch of other apps, not just accessing the phone. So the first thing that came to my mind was not having to type in my iTunes password every time I want to download an app, which is definitely nice. It does seem a little bit gimmicky. It's not completely necessary, but it's a nice thing to have. And they made a big deal about the fact that they're never going to back it up to iCloud. They're never really going to have access to your information, so I'm guessing it's going to be stored locally on the phone, so you don't have to worry about anyone getting a hold of important information. The pricing for the iPhone 5S is $199 for a 16 gigabyte, $299 for a 32 gigabyte, and $399 for a 64 gigabyte. The iPhone 4S 8 gigabyte is now free, replacing the iPhone 4. And you can pre-order the new iPhone 5S and 5C on September 13th, and they will be shipping by the 20th. That's about it for the Apple keynote today. Definitely leave a comment below about what you guys think. That's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.